Okay, so IVE is having a comeback, and I wanted to see what's new with the girlies. I did a reading on Wonyoung a few months ago, and it revealed some troubling things about the girls being separated. I'll link it below if you're interested. Anyway, in this reading, we got some insights into the group dynamic, which honestly seems to have improved, so vibe. I think their comeback will be good. I think there's something kind of weird going on with the finances at Starship. Of course, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! Okay, IVE. Okay. I think they were actually going through kind of a hard time recently. I think it's getting better. The Five of Wands as the first pole would be like fighting, but like in the upright it would be like petty fighting. In the reverse, it's like it starts to become a bit more serious in terms of like inner conflict. Knight of Cups is facing the Devil, which would be maybe like somebody stepping in or somebody in IVE maybe stepping up to become a little bit more of like a mediator or a protector, especially when it comes to like emotional matters. Because the Devil is like the releasing of something toxic. 2, 3. Something's going to change about their vision or their image. It could be internal though as well, because like the Three of Wands would be like strategizing. I actually feel like there might have been disagreements. This could be IVE and also the people who like work with IVE and Starship as a whole, and there were disagreements maybe on the direction that IVE was going to go musically, visually, sonically. If you remember their first 3 releases, what were they? Love Dive, Afterlike, and 11. Those were a bit similar, both in aesthetic and sound, and it seemed like IVE was going in a specific direction. Afterlike, I think they started to pivot, and then we got, I think they started to experiment a little bit more with their sound and with their like visuals. And I think now they have a little bit less of like a strict, distinct like essence to them. And I think there were a lot of disagreements about veering off into maybe different genres and different styles. Something's going to change again. I feel like whatever this comeback is, I think it might be a little bit more like permanent and maybe solidify IVE as like this is kind of the thing that they do. It's sort of like how when aespa releases something, you know it's going to be like a little bit like off kilter. It's going to be maybe a little bit more like futuristic or something like that, because that's like the lane that they've like designated. IVE is going to get that. But there's been a lot of disagreements about it. I think that's kind of why their discography has been a little bit all over the place. They did release a full album, but there's also been a lot of kind of like singles like here and there, and they've been doing kind of like side quests. The 10 of Pentacles is looking back satisfied. Their next comeback, I think, is going to be commercially really good for Starship and for IVE. In general, I think Starship was really surprised by how successful IVE was. I mean, like they were really hoping IVE would be financially really beneficial. Their next comeback, I think, it's going to outperform what maybe Starship expected. Queen of Cups, who's that? Labor. Work. Somebody in IVE is a little bit dissatisfied with the amount of work they get. I don't know if it's too much or not enough. Oh, I think it's not enough. I think somebody in IVE, this would be somebody who maybe feels like undervalued in some way, or in some way, what's the word? They feel like maybe, the word that came to mind was disrespected. But I think this is a member, and it has to do with like maybe them not working as much as they want to be working. Ace of Cups, and the reverse position would be like emotional discontent in some way. And then the 10 of Wands is like a burden. Friendship? Oh, what? I think they've gotten closer. I actually feel like there was a time when they, like, for the cameras, they would smile, and then behind the scenes, they were not, like, homies. I think there was a lot of jealousy, and I think there was a lot of separation. That's improved a lot, which is really nice to see. I think there are still some members who wish that they got, like, different projects, maybe, or more opportunities. But overall, I feel like they actually quite get along. And I think that took maybe some mediation or something, some sort of like intervention from an outside party. At least for this upcoming comeback, I think they all feel very good about each other, and I think they feel pretty good about what they're going to be releasing. They've been working on this comeback for a really long time. 10 of Swords. Oh, did we get the 10 of Wands? What's happening? This. And then the Magician. I'm curious. Getting over a heartbreak. Oh, okay. Wait, what? Somebody might have like backstabbed somebody. I don't know. The reason I say that is because going back, me all over the place. So we got this card, right? And this is the 10 of Wands. 10s in tarot are like the end of like a suit. So it would be like the finalization of something. And we got this card, which is like friendship, which to me indicates that like there's goodwill among them. They feel like friends. But then we got this card, which is like the 10 of Swords. I often read that as like a backstabbing card, but it can mean a lot of things. But it's about like words swirling that were very negative and kind of got you down. They're being uplifted again. I don't want to say what this is because it seems kind of like maybe cliche, but also I don't know. Let me pause. To collect myself. I feel like maybe there was like gossiping or like backstabbing. Was this upright or reverse? I think it was upright. I don't know. I think there was maybe backstabbing or gossiping, or in some way there was just like negative energy directed at a specific member in IVE. You can make your guesses. I don't know. And they really like improved that. And I think it took a lot of like forgiving. That's so interesting. If this happened, it would have happened around, I'm hearing like March, early March of last year. Or I guess, I'm filming this in January 1st. But this would have been around like March 2024 to around like August. And there was like, I think I was actually going through a lot of like internal conflict, and then it got better. I think the company kind of had to step in and was like, you guys are crazy. But this is like getting over a heartbreak, essentially. I think somebody was really hurt. I remember I was very hurt by maybe something some other member said about them, or a couple of members. The Chariot, though, was like moving forward, like off we go. King of Cups. Knight of Swords. King of Wands, masculine energy all over the place. The Empress. Whatever that conflict was, it really, we're going back in time, I guess. Whatever that conflict was, it really messed with the higher ups in Starship. I think also something that played a really, around the time I've debuted until like 2 years into it, and was sort of like people were very upset because they thought Wonyoung was being treated differently. Like in pictures, she always had like a better dress, or at least a very different dress than the rest of them, and she got a lot of opportunities. And I think that was something that I think Starship genuinely just did not like think about how it would look to fans. And I think that created sort of like a thing where the company was like, we can't just have it be Wonyoung and friends. And so there was a lot of like, I think Starship maybe could have handled that a little bit better internally and externally, if we're honest. But I also don't feel like they anticipated how beloved Wonyoung was going to be like right out of the gate. And so I think they really had to like pull back and maybe boost some of the other members and get them into more things. And I think that just created a lot of confusion. I think maybe because they didn't communicate that as well as they could have to the girls. And so it was sort of like, they wouldn't be like, no, you're not going. Like, yes, you're coming. And like, I don't know, I think it created kind of like a wobble effect. And I think that's actually kind of why they haven't, I mean, they have released a lot, but I feel like it's maybe why their releases haven't been as like, not outstanding in the sense that not good, but not outstanding in the sense that they haven't been like really big, like the promotions last forever types of things, because they're trying to really manage all of the girls' careers so they rise together. And so they don't really have this issue of, I mean, Wonyoung, whether you like it or not, is, like somebody like people are drawn to. They want the other members to also be, like, it seems almost like an ecosystem where it's sort of like, if you want the member that dances well, like Gaul is your girl, and so you're watching Gaul for like dance breaks and stuff like that. And if you're wanting somebody who has like a really cool and like confident and like edgy vibe, you're gonna watch like Eugene or something like that. Knight of Pentacles, money. That can be like, what's the word? Like apprehension, death, a lack of a rebirth, a lack of a rebirth. And that was on the Empress. Empress in a reverse position, the Knight of Pentacles. Oh, their money might have been weird. I think the album, what was it that they released? IVE, is that what it is? I think that didn't do as well financially as Starship had hoped. I actually think it did maybe a little bit poorly. Poorly compared to like public reception of it. I don't really know how the public received it. I like the album. I like Blue Blood. That was a fun song. But in some way, something financially they expected to happen did not happen. And I think that created a lot of like apprehension. And I think kind of made maybe IVE, the people who are in charge of planning IVE, scramble a little bit. I think genuinely 2024 was a really like tumultuous year for IVE internally, both between like the girls and like how they're managed. I think Starship genuinely was a little bit in over their head. I don't know. I mean, they had, what's it called? Monster X, right, was maybe their biggest group. And I think it is just kind of like meteorically become one of like the biggest girl groups. And so I think Starship just didn't really know how to like handle that. Something I feel like, and this is not like the strongest energy, but I kind of feel like their comeback that I think comes out like February, I don't know. Something is going to change significantly about how it looks, but the thing is, it's like not that. It's not like they're gonna pivot and be like the next like Baby Monster, where they're like all of a sudden like everything's like very heavy like rap and hip hop. But something's going to change significantly about it, noticeably maybe, and it's like the sound or the aesthetic. I don't know what it is, because it's like they've been changing their stuff a lot. Whatever this is, though, I think is going to be the thing that they like kind of stick with. So if you remember, like their early years was like dark academia. It's like now they're gonna do more like, I don't know, like fairy goddesses or some shit like that. It just seems like they're gonna stick with like Elaine and like whatever. King of Swords. There's a lot of masculine energy in this reading. I feel like IVE mostly like is managed by men. I don't know what like the makeup of Starship is, but it seems sort of like the people who make the decisions for IVE are largely men. I think they outsource a lot of things, like songwriters. I think they get from like globally. I think they use a lot of global songwriters, and I think their managers are women, so people who kind of do the day-to-day stuff. But like I don't think they have a lot of like feminine input at like the higher level. I think that's actually going to kind of get them in the long run, but that's neither here nor there. I think there's something that they need to change in their comeback that they're not going to, like something you need to let go of. I don't know what that means. It seems like something kind of like what's the word, mundane. I don't know, like a member has the same hair for the last like 5 comebacks and they like to switch it up, whatever. Walking away from something, happily ever after, judgment. I feel like this comeback is going to be successful. I don't know what that, because the thing is like there's like an inkling that like there's something that's holding them back or limiting them in some way, but in general I think this comeback is going to be one that's very memorable in their discography, because not all of their comebacks have been ones that people were like, oh, like that happened. This one I think is going to be pretty memorable. I think it's going to be a bigger comeback where it kind of goes on for a long time. It's like walking away from something, but this is happily ever after. The judgment day, transition, stinginess, lack of control. It can be the peanut gallery. That can also be defensiveness. What were we transitioning from? Judgment. Oh, I feel like they're gonna run into like a quote-unquote scandal again. It'll be something where people are very mad at a member, or maybe Starship or something. But I think it's gonna, it feels kind of related to wonyoung, but I don't know. But it feels like something where, you know, and I think this has maybe subsided a bit, but where people were very hard on wonyoung for like the, I don't know, like eating or something like that. I think IVE is going to face scrutiny again. I think there's going to be a lot more defenders of IVE as well. I think it's going to be more of like a bot, cultural war. I could also kind of see like, this was like such like a blip of a story, but it was still like kind of wacky, where it was like Hybe or what's the big group that owns like Starship? I don't know. But it was like a company that was like selling stories about a different company and their idols to make that group look bad. I feel like, if you know what I'm talking about, I feel like something like that is going to happen again. But like fans, I think IVE has actually developed a very strong and dedicated fan base. I think there's going to be a lot of like culture war around IVE and like defending of IVE. Well, thank you.